Russia's tactical nuke threat. Could they use it in Ukraine? Will Russia really use nuclear warheads on its range of hypersonic missiles in the Ukraine war? The answer? It's possible. But we're talking about tactical nukes, not strategic ones. Tactical nukes are smaller and designed for specific, targeted operations. They pack less punch than the megaton-level strategic nukes, focusing on limited areas and key targets. But why would Russia consider using tactical nukes? It ties directly into Ukraine's current strategy and North Korea's involvement. This is critical, so stay calm and listen closely. First, let's break down Ukraine's current mission and intentions. Ukraine's goal. Ukraine's goal is clear. They want to hit Russian targets within Russia to turn the tide. President Zelensky has even called these long-range strikes on Russian territory part of their victory plan. The aim: strike key Russian infrastructure, gain a position of strength in negotiations, and end the war on their terms. Long-range missile strikes are the way to make Russia reconsider its resolve to continue the fight. So, what are Ukraine's options for long-range missiles? Two choices. The US-made ATACMS long-range missile. The Storm Shadow, an air-to-ground missile co-developed by the UK and France. But here's the catch. Both use US technology. Launching either ATACMS or Storm Shadow missiles requires US approval. Zelensky has been pushing the US and UK to lift restrictions on the missile range, specifically to allow strikes on Russian soil. Yet, up until now, the US has held back, refusing to approve strikes deep into Russian territory. Zelensky blames this hesitation from allies as keeping Ukraine at a disadvantage. So, where do the US and NATO stand on this plan to target Russia itself with long-range missiles? Here's the breakdown of each nation's stance. The UK, Estonia, Sweden, Finland, and the Netherlands. They support Ukraine's long-range strikes. France supports, but with a condition: no civilian bombings. Germany and Italy are more cautious. The US, however, is firmly against it, fearing an escalation. The UK and the US? At odds here. Since September, the UK's been frustrated with the US on this issue. Britain has been pressing President Biden to greenlight these strikes, but so far, no success. The disappointment is strong. So much so that even the UK's Foreign Secretary David Lammy challenged the US to show more backbone and courage on September 22nd. What will it take for Ukraine to get the green light? And will Russia respond with tactical nukes if they do? Stay tuned as we dive deeper into this high-stakes showdown. Let's move on. Putin's nuclear shift. North Korea's role. While Zelensky was pleading with the US and NATO for support, guess who else was feeling the heat? Putin. He knew he had to act fast. Long-range missiles striking Russia? Not an option. So, Russia made a big move. They changed their nuclear doctrine. Before, Russia would only use nukes against nuclear-armed countries. Now, they've opened the door to using nuclear weapons against non-nuclear states. And guess who that includes? Ukraine. And there's more. Russia's new policy also allows them to use nukes against countries supplying weapons to Ukraine, meaning NATO allies like the US, UK, France, Germany, and Italy. In fact, on October 29th, just a week before the US election, Putin ordered a drill simulating nuclear strikes on US soil. Russia's army, navy, and air force all participated, launching nuclear-capable missiles in a massive show of force. Is Putin considering tactical nukes as his final move? It's a real possibility. So, what do you think? If Ukraine, with US approval, fires long-range missiles into Russia, what will Putin do? Could Russia actually use nukes? It's a tough call. But tactical nukes? Not out of the question. If Russia's homeland is hit, Putin's political standing could crumble. Remember, whether it's a strategic or tactical nuke, nuclear weapons are nuclear weapons. Occupying a radioactive Ukraine would be a nightmare. and Russia would face global outrage, standing on the brink of committing a historical atrocity. So yes, even a tactical nuke would be a last resort for Russia. But is there another way? A clever move on the chessboard? That's where North Korea comes in. Putin made a calculated trip to North Korea in June. If North Korea sends in its special forces, Ukraine will have to scramble to adjust its war strategy. It's Putin's last play before reaching for the nukes. For Putin, North Korean support might be the best option. A tough but preferable choice over nuclear escalation. How North Korea's entry changes the war. With North Korea's potential involvement, the US and NATO now have a new dilemma to consider. Before firing long-range missiles at Russia, Ukraine now faces the added challenge of countering North Korean troops. They'll need to factor in North Korea's military strength, combat skills, and the risk of widening this conflict beyond Ukraine. North Korea's entry? It's a game changer. Adding a twist on this war's chessboard, it's Putin's trap, creating a complex web for Zelensky, the US, and NATO. And the stakes? Higher than ever. North Korea's grand strategy. Let's look at this from North Korea's angle. North Korea has its own critical objectives in this war. Did North Korean soldiers join for a paycheck of $2,200 a month? Or for food and oil because their people are starving? Sure, these might be small perks, but that's not the main reason behind North Korea's involvement. North Korea tested its own hypersonic missile, Hwasong-8, back in 2020, claiming a successful launch. And while their ICBM technology is advancing, it's still not fully stable. Just this Halloween, North Korea launched an ICBM, a bold statement to the US, showing their growing missile capabilities. But launching a nuclear-tipped missile successfully, there are still hurdles. That's where Russia's support is a game changer. Many South Korean military experts believe that North Korea only entered the war after securing advanced technology from Russia. They speculate that North Korea's nuclear capabilities might now be at a breakthrough level. If South Korea can't intercept these hypersonic missiles with SOD or Patriot systems, North Korea edges closer to its ultimate goal, a guaranteed upper hand on the Korean peninsula. So, Putin's hypersonic missiles aren't just a threat to South Korea. They could neutralize Japan and the US Indo-Pacific Command, destabilizing all of Northeast Asia. For North Korea, Putin's Big Six offers a perfect move on the chessboard, a calculated advantage they couldn't resist. Thus, North Korea is aiming to unfold a power play backed by Russia's Big Six. Epilogue. As the Ukraine war rages on, a dangerous web of alliances and rivalries deepens. With North Korea stepping in, empowered by Russian technology, the stakes have soared beyond Ukraine's borders. Hypersonic missiles, nuclear threats, shifting doctrines, each move escalates the risk. For Putin, North Korean support is a calculated play to avoid the nuclear option, yet that option still looms over every decision. For Ukraine, backed by the West, long-range strikes could invite a brutal response. And for the US and NATO, they stand at a crossroads, torn between caution and confrontation. This isn't just about Ukraine and Russia anymore. The lines are blurring. The players are multiplying. The risk? A conflict that pulls in powers across continents, turning a regional war into a global crisis. So, where does it all lead? That's the question no one can answer yet. But one thing's certain, the chessboard is set, and every move counts.